What's up, YouTube? How you doing today? What's going on? This video is going to be about Tom Cruise and his musical influences. Now, so often than not, when you look at actors and people, you don't always assume that music will play a part, but you would be wrong. He has had roles in movies. He did do the movie Rock of Ages. He did go to Rolling Stone, asked him, he wanted to do a research. As a matter of fact, he researched out where he was checking out the mannerisms of Def Leppard and Guns N' Roses for his role. So when he got into costume and the full gear, he went to Cameron Crowe and asked him about who he should study. I think Cameron Crowe recommended Led Zeppelin. So some of his manner and some of his vibe lends itself off. Now, we're always told we are like the music we listen to and certain elements. And Tom Cruise, if I'm being honest, as a pop icon from the movie industry and that charisma that he has, one of the artists that he looked up to was Elvis Presley. And you can almost see a correlation in his demeanor, his styling, and his drip with how you see how Tom Cruise presents himself. So it's not so far fetched to see that. Other musical influences that he has said that have come to pass have been the Beatles and the Rolling Stones. You know, the leading man, the type of aura, the type of charisma, the type of vibe that he sets off. So, like when you see his movies, you know he's a leading man. So, there is something to be said about a leading man or a leading woman in a movie, and then you correlate that to an artist because it is almost like one and the same. You are doing theatrics and how it all plays. So, this has been an interesting figure, and I do and find it interesting with the way artists how they carry themselves because he has kind of like a rebel attitude which would loan itself when you can figure out that he's doing Mission Impossible Part 88. I didn't stop count of them, but the man does his own stunts. He's 60 plus and he's still jumping off of buildings and doing, he went to London, he was shooting all kinds of things and just getting into his character. But it is a rebellious type of nature that isn't the rock spirit. So to find out that those are some of his influences, and then of course when you see someone like Mick Jagger who's still on stage at 80 plus with the Rolling Stones and Keith Richards and them, you take that into consideration and you say to yourself, well, yeah, that that kind of makes sense. So those were some of the musical influences along with it, and you know, it loans itself to seeing that it kind of projects his nature, you know. And the Beach Boys also played a part, which I remember. I think it was the Cocktail movie, which their music was played. He struck me as someone who would be into 50s, 60s rock and pop music. You know, you never know. You know, sometimes I've seen Tom Cruise. I still remember the one. The most funniest thing I remember is when him and Jimmy Fox were on the set with Young Jock. And you remember when Young Jock had that one day, and Tom Cruise did the Young Jock dance, and I was still tripping about that. So that is a trip when you think about it. But he strikes me more of a standardized rock pop into things that he's into. So um it's interesting when we go down that line and that lane with him as a personality and so on and so forth. But yeah, they played a different part in what he was trying to do research and backing on. So I thought that was interesting because I like to when actors are talking about what they like musically, and then you see because it's like one and the same. It really is. It's all, especially if you are leading and you are a component of it, you can almost see that. But anyway, let me know what you think. Please hit like, subscribe, welcome thoughts, comments, and I do respond. Thank you. Wash your hands. Keep your mind clear. Watch out for another initiative if you like, and hit that membership because when you do, requests like this come true. Stay safe, stay blessed, stay woke, stay free, stay true. And there is a small correlation between film and music. I'm out. Peace.